Hello, everyone. My name is Gahandagwas, Diane Longboat. My Mohawk name, Gahandagwas, means she's picking sweetgrass. And I'm Turtle Clan from the Mohawk Nation, Six Nations in the Grand River Territory. I want to welcome you today to a very beautiful and in-depth discussion of an infographic that we produced from Shkabe Makwa. We are the staff of Shkabe Makwa that you will be meeting during this webinar. I am the elder CAMH, and I am also the senior project manager for Guiding Directions Implementation. And today I have two of my colleagues from Shkabe Makwa who are joining us, Lisa and Walter, and they are going to be introducing themselves in a moment. We're bringing this recording to you today because we've had some very interesting feedback from young people. And those young people who have seen this infographic have been very much drawn to the cultural concepts of it that are resiliency concepts during the time of this pandemic. And so today we wanted to share with you some of those cultural concepts from both the Anishinaabe tradition and the Haudenosaunee tradition. So we are delighted to be able to share these with you today. And we'd like to now introduce Lisa to you. And Lisa, would you share a little bit about yourself?
Bonjour, Lisa Wabange, Indigenous Cause. I'm the Community Support Specialist for CAMH. My spirit name is Wase Peneshik, Migize Dodem, Migize Sagagan, Nindodin Jaba. I'm very excited to be here today, so thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And Walter, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Walter Lindstone. I'm an implementation specialist for Shkabe Makwa, but my spirit name is Kokmashkabewis, which means your grandmother's helper, and I'm from Batchewana First Nation. I am very happy to be a part of this, to share my knowledge and information about this infographic we created. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. Miigwech.
Miigwech. Thank you. And Lisa, would you like to introduce our poster?
So I have the poster here. So we came up with the title of the poster, and it's in the Ojibwe language. So the title of our poster is "Na Dewe Gazawak We Mino Madzawit," which is mental health is health. They are being healed to live a good life, to think healthy, be physically well, and have a good heart.
Lisa, we're going to start in the east direction. This infographic is set up with the beautiful colors of blue-green, representing Mother Earth, and we have a turtle in the center. In the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee traditions, it is the turtle that is holding up Mother Earth, supporting Mother Earth. And so this infographic is set in the design of a very, very ancient medicine wheel. And we always begin in the east direction. So in Anishinaabe-Moan, the Wabange is the east direction, the direction of the rising sun. And in every direction, there is a spirit being, in this case, the grandmother and the grandfather eagle, that are responsible for holding the protection of that particular direction and representing that direction. And the medicine that comes from that direction is tobacco. So thank you to our Anishinaabe relatives for that teaching. The first part of our poster is talking about, of course, power of the Creator, Vasantensala, the power of the Creator. And in Mohawk, that really refers back to our teachings of peace, power, and a good mind. And of course, the power is not human power. It's not ego-centered power. It is the power of Songwayadison, our Creator, the one who is the maker of all things, the one who is that infinite life force, the infinite love, and the infinite power of the universe. So Gasantensala, the power of the Creator. And in the next piece, I'll turn it over to Walter to talk to us about prayer.
Thank you, Diane. I really appreciate you in your teachings. It's always very interesting for me to hear all those beautiful words that you speak of, especially when we talk about the Creator. But for me, when we say Namada, let's pray, what we're talking about is um, the importance of prayer. And when we pray, we're talking to the Great Spirit or your higher power. Some of us have different languages and we have different words for our Creator, our Great Spirit. Some of us are Christian, we may call God. But however you do that, whether you pray to the animals, to Mother Earth, when we say Namada, we're talking about this idea that we're able to speak good words, kind words, with love and respect, to be able to um, ask the Great Spirit for guidance and direction, for balance and clarity to help us throughout our day. So every morning uh, we may get up and we say, okay, well, today I want to start my day in a good way. How do I do this? And we will begin our day by saying some words to creation, to give thanks, and to ask the Great Spirit to protect us today and help me to live a good life today. So this is a beautiful word in this infographic. It speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you too, to be able to say, let's pray together as a nation, um, as all people of Mother Earth. We're praying, and we want that peace and love to be a part of our lives. So thank you, Dan, for letting me share that. Miigwech.
Miigwech.
I'd like to share a little bit about Semaka Begedna, put your tobacco down. Um, I was really excited to be able to share this in this infographic. I thought it was a very important piece. It does connect very closely to praying. So, one of the things that we do as Anishinaabe, and there are many other nations that pray with tobacco, is what does that mean, right? What do you mean by put it down, or we say lay it down? So my grandmother, she taught me that when you um, want to speak to creation, or you want to go and pick medicines, or maybe you want to go speak to an elder, or maybe you had a beautiful dream or vision at night, there, you would take some tobacco. We have traditional tobacco, but if you don't, you can use other tobaccos. Some people give you tobacco and tobacco ties, and you'll take that tobacco and you can put it in your left hand as an extension of your heart, and you can go and um, to a clean, beautiful place. Maybe there'll be a garden bed with some beautiful flowers, or your favorite tree. Maybe there's a beautiful lake near you, or some water, a creek bed, or a pond, something that's very pristine. And if you can find a little bit of space, you can take your tobacco and you can go and you can lay it down in that beautiful, clean place. My grandmother always told me, find a beautiful place to lay out your tobacco. And of course, if you don't have that opportunity, one will come up. You can pray for that. You can ask creation to help you find a beautiful space to be able to lay your tobacco down. So that's very important. We do that every day in the morning, especially to start your day out in a good way, to give back to creation and to be able to tell the Great Spirit and your helpers and your ancestors that you're grateful for your life. And that's why we lay down our tobacco and we put out our tobacco. So I just wanted to share that and say thank you.
It's so important to give back when you ask for something. And I think we've been gifted as Ongwe people with the gift of that sacred tobacco, which is not commercial tobacco, but it's the original tobacco that came with Sky Woman when she came here from the stars. And they say that she fell from the stars in the spirit world to come here to assist the creator with the work of creation. And so when she came here, she had tobacco in one hand and the strawberry plants in the other. And so we as Haudenosaunee people continue to grow our tobacco. And over the decades of sharing ceremonies with Anishinaabe relatives, we've shared our tobacco seeds as well. And so many nations are regrowing their tobacco now. But if you don't have an opportunity to get sacred tobacco, using commercial tobacco or pipe tobacco is just as good. And so, always know that the Creator will hear your prayers no matter what you make as an offering. And sometimes, if you don't have access to tobacco, you can put out a food offering, you can put out a cloth offering, medicines of sage or cedar or sweetgrass. So there's many ways, and I think that what Walter has shared with you, the importance of prayer, the importance of offering is so critical because your prayer from the heart really carries whatever offering that you want to put out on the land, water, in the air. If you have just a few grains of tobacco or cedar or sweetgrass or sage to offer even into the air off your balcony in a downtown apartment, that's a beautiful offering to creation for the love and respect you carry for them. So I'd like to ask Lisa now to talk about Bimadzuin.
So it's called, the pronunciation is Shawendun Bimadzuin, which is love and respect life. I think the importance of sharing love wherever you go, in everything that you do, and the importance of respecting life and honoring the gifts that we're given, the people that are in our lives, especially during this time of COVID. There was, a lot of uncertainty. We felt like it was so important to emphasize that we're human beings and to promote that love. Dagadwin, which is like, I love you, that love. Miigwech.
Miigwech. So we've started in the east direction, which is the spiritual direction. It's the direction where all life in the human family enters from the east. And so we include that spiritual direction because in this journey of life as a human being, we are made up of spirit, heart, mind, and body. And so we're going to move now to the red circle. And underneath the red circle, you'll see sweetgrass there. And that is Zhaonong sweetgrass. The wolf is the lead of that south direction in Anishinaabe tradition. And so that is an important direction. And that is the direction of the mind. So I'll ask Walter if you'll speak to some of the concepts in this direction.
Yes, thanks, Dan. Um, this first part is so important when it talks about Creator having infinite power and do not fear, do not be afraid. One of the biggest challenges we have as human beings, especially during this COVID, is that fear gets a hold of us and starts to give us a lot of doubt, starts to make us not believe in who we are as Indigenous people and the power and the sacredness we have to be able to protect Mother Earth, use our medicines, and to start to understand and begin to um, really validate our identity as Aboriginal people and start to believe that we have the power to be able to pray and make change in this world, make change in ourselves, and to ask the Great Spirit, when you're afraid, please help me through this. Help me to um, find that peace and find that my heart inside me. Help me to live strong, to be able to get up every day and feel like I can do this. I have the strength. I am a proud Anishinaabe. I'm a proud, Ongwe Ongwe. And this is something that is for everyone. We're able to pray. We're able to ask the Great Spirit to be able to help us every day to not be afraid and to conquer those fears. So I'm really proud to have this piece in this infographic because I know that can get a hold of us and it can really start to make us unfocused, especially during this difficult time. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. So thank you.
It's a very rough translation of Gunalunkwa in the English language to say, I love you. But Gunalunkwa is a really important concept because love is the medicine of the universe. It is the infinite love of the Creator who had a vision for creating a paradise for us and gathered the most beautiful dusts and pollens from the most magnificent places in the universe. And when ready, swirled them together to form our Mother the Earth, that mineral life that is there underneath our feet. And so when this planet that we call Mother Earth was born of the love from a vision of the Creator, all life forms that are here became a vision of the Creator to be working in concert with one another, not one greater than or less than the other. And so that whole concept of infinite love of the Creator translates to how we need to help each other, and especially in times of crisis. And I can tell you that, manifesting that love in the world is the most important challenge that we have as human beings. Learning how to forgive, learning how to be compassionate, learning about empathy and patience. Those are all embedded in that whole concept of love. And it means caring for one another. And I'm so grateful during this time of this global pandemic that affected every single human being in the world, that you could see community members reaching out to help the elders, protecting the elders as knowledge keepers and holders of our oral history, our songs, our teachings, our ceremonies, and our way of life. And watching young people go into the bush and pick medicine and helping the medicine keepers in our communities to gather what they needed so that the community members would have what they need during the time of illness, and boosting our immune systems with all of our traditional medicines. This was an important time as moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunties and uncles took their children and young people into the bush. They went out as families to be able to pick medicine. And what a beautiful thing that has come out of this pandemic is that if we could say one thing, it gave us the gift of time. Time with for self-reflection, but also time with our families to be able to do those traditional things on the land that are so important to us in our culture, especially for that springtime. So I wanted to share that concept of Gunalunkwa with you because love is the currency for the universe, and especially during these difficult times, to be able to feel that love and to reach out and to help one another is a true gift. Also, that gift of skana, peace. Peace comes from, first of all, within, following the traditional teachings and the faith traditions that you choose to have in your life, and understanding that that peace comes from a connection to all the beings in the natural world, to falling in love with creation and falling in love with the Creator, and understanding, as Walter said, that the Creator has that infinite power and never to fear, to lean on a force greater than ourselves, to have guidance through dreams and visions, and to feel that sense comes when you don't feel that fear, when you feel trust in that higher power. And I say higher power because many of our people are finding their faith traditions outside of our own original and ancient traditions. And that's all beautiful. Wherever you find your connection to the Creator is always really beautiful. So I'd like to just speak a little bit about Garantalio, the good mind. I believe that all of these teachings that we're being given here today by Lisa, by Walter, shared so deeply and so beautifully, heal our minds, give us positive thinking, give us strength, and help us to understand that and be proud of ourselves, understand that we come from a long and beautiful tradition, that we have been here since the beginning of time on Turtle Island, and that we have so much to contribute to society. And so those Indigenous knowledge systems are incredibly important, because just as we're doing this work today, sharing our culture during the time of great crisis, that we are being uplifted as nations of people, of Indigenous peoples, but we are also sharing the best of what we understand to be a good life with all the people who are listening. And Lisa, what of this sacred tradition in the South for the mind would you like to share?
I would I'd just like to touch on what Diane and Walter were talking about, having that strong connection to Creator. Um, you know, again, with the worry, the uncertainty, the negative thoughts that ruminate, and so we really wanted to talk and promote that positive thoughts, and giving your concerns and your worries to Creator, and trusting that Creator will look after you and guide you, and minimizing the your social activity online. Really taking that time to connect with your family and bond with your family, like you're mentioning the medicines, the importance of our language. Like with this opportunity of helping develop the poster, I had a wonderful opportunity to connect with 3 elders in learning the language, and then sharing it with my children, the new words that I was able to learn about. So it's like promoting that language, and it's not too late to learn your language. Which
Miigwech, Lisa. Walter, would you like to speak to the importance of smudging and being thankful?
Yes. Um, as part of a daily routine in connection with prayer and putting out your tobacco, um, you know, asking the Great Spirit to help take away that fear, helping you to be thankful and having a good mind. One of the most beautiful things that you can do is um, smudge. So, smudging, let's all smudge. Pigwenenza. When we say that, we say let's all smudge. That may be new to you. You may not understand what that means, but I'll just share with you a little bit about that. You can see on this infographic, there are some medicines around the circles in each direction. So in this one in particular, you might not be able to see very clearly, but it's actually sweetgrass in the background. And sweetgrass is one of the 4 sacred medicines that we've been given the Great Spirit to be able to use to help us with coping and grounding. So if you're afraid and you're having a difficult time, one of the things that we use is sweetgrass, because it's a medicine of love. and it brings so much beautiful peace into your home, into your mind, into your spirit, into your emotions. And you can use that medicine and bring it over yourself to be able to help you with that. So when I say coping, I'm talking about helping you to um, get through those difficult moments, those difficult times that you're having where you're not feeling peace, where you're not feeling that love, and you're feeling sad. You can use that medicine to brighten you up, brighten your day, and to help you move forward. Your spirit and your ancestors see you doing that. When they see you bringing that smoke, when you light that sweetgrass and you bring it over your mind and you bring it over your eyes, to help you not be sad and to see good things. You bring that smoke to your nose so you can smell good things and smell good life. You bring it to your mouth so you can say good words, right? You bring it to your ears so you can think and hear good things. So when we're doing this every day as a practice, it becomes something that you use to cope every day in understanding your connection to Mother Earth, right? So when you use these medicines, you're praying, you're thinking about Mother Earth, you're thinking about even how in this spring season can I plant these medicines? How can I use these medicines? How can I continue to respect and understand these medicines? And our ancestors have given us these beautiful gifts to be able to remember them and to use to heal ourselves. So when I say coping and then I use the word grounding, what happens is sometimes in this difficult time that we're living in, we get ungrounded. We start to be too shifty in our thinking, and we can get quite upset and not being able to keep up, and especially with time and pressure and all kinds of things we have going on. Especially some of us are, in school and you're trying to learn online now. All these things can be quite difficult to be able to cope, and we feel unhinged. We feel not grounded. So you can use that medicine to bring you back to Mother Earth to feel grounded and feel like you're in that place of knowing that we can be secure. You can feel secure, and those medicines can help you feel secure and feel safe. So use that smudge. You can use sage. You can use your tobacco. You can use cedar. And I'm sure Diane will share more about how she uses those medicines as well as an elder. So thank you.
Miigwech, Walter. Well, we've started with the spirit and we've moved now to the mind. And now we're going to shift over to the heart, which is in our emotional section. And I'd like to ask Walter if you'd speak to the west direction.
Diane, we forgot to talk about the thankfulness. I was wondering if I could share about that.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Sorry. So the importance of being thankful. Miigwech Winandam, which means being thankful. So it's really important to really look at the gratitude, the importance of what we have in our lives, because it's so easy to start looking at what we have and the struggle, right? So there's a beautiful song that I just really want to share, and it's a song. It's just one verse, and it's just thanking Creator for just this beautiful land that we have, our beautiful life, and honoring Creator for that all that we've been given. And I can't even. I'm not meant to sing it. Anyways, I'm trying to go with my spirit here, and I can't sing it. But that's it. Sorry. Continue. We're gonna be chopping this up anyways, right?
Yeah.
Well, we want to keep that part in there.
I was just thinking, how does it go? Miigwech nagego emijiang miwa godingishka gizes gibenabed weya heha Haleya, heya, heya, hey. Weya, heya. Haleya, heya, heya, hey. Weya, heya. Haleya, heya. Miigwech.
Oh, miigwech.
Miigwech.
Beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you so much, Lisa.
We speak from the spirit, and not just like I felt like I needed to say that. So, thanking Creator for the beautiful day. Miigwech.
Beautiful. Miigwech. We've started with the spirit in the east direction. We moved to the south for the mind. Now we're going to move to the west for the heart, the emotional. And I'll ask Walter if you'll speak to the west direction, which is sage.
Yes, Niga Benong. So this west direction is a beautiful direction because when we talk to the thunder beings and the white buffalo, these spiritual beings in this direction provide us that clarity to be able to cleanse Mother Earth. Those thunder beings, when you hear them, Nimki, when you hear those thunder beings coming, especially here in the spring, that thunder and that lightning, those things start to cleanse Mother Earth. That electricity becomes so vibrant and alive. But this western direction, Nigabanong, has a lot of beautiful stories, old stories about spiritual beings and ancestors that we can seek out, that we can start to go and bring our tobacco to our elders and ask them to give us teachings, ask them to help us understand this direction, understand the spiritual beings in these directions. And I love this direction. This direction is one of my favorite directions, especially when I sit in the sweat lodge. There's a lot of interesting things that come from the West. And I really believe in sage. It's a very powerful medicine. And it's something that we use daily in my practice and my prayers, and to be able to help myself with cleansing my home, cleansing my family. I work when I work with people. We're always burning that medicine at all our ceremonies. Sage is so important. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be able to share a little bit of my knowledge on this direction. And thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Miigwech, Walter. I'll just add a few words to what Walter has raised here today, because I think it's so important in this West direction to talk about some of the ceremonies that our people held at the beginning of this global pandemic. And they talked to the Creator and asked the Creator for protection for ourselves, our families, our clans, and our nations, our communities of our people. And some of those directions that came back talked about the importance of hanging medicines in your home during this time. And Walter talked about spiritually cleansing your home, always, in many, many ceremonies using sage to smudge your home, smudge yourself, doing that on a daily basis. Some people cut cedar and boil cedar in a big pot on the stove to clean the air in the home. It was so important to be able to hang those medicines where you live and to spiritually cleanse your home. So our people have been doing this daily since the time of this challenge of the pandemic. It's so important also to connect to the ancestors. And in our tradition, whether it's an Ongwehwe tradition from the Arctic to Cape Horn, you know, the south part of South America, it's so important to be able to ensure that our ancestors are remembered in all of our ceremonies, that we never forget them, that they walked before us and they left many teachings on the trail for us that we pick up as we walk now. And so the ancestors are the ones who understand what it is to be a human being with all of our frailties, our weaknesses, our lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, our ego. And so the ancestors are now in that place of peace. And so they help us by bringing us dreams and visions and teachings and guidance. So they are an important addition to when we talk about giving thanks to the Creator and to Mother Earth and to all of creation. We always include our ancestors in that. And so they are very important in this West direction, because when we began, we talked to you about all the brand new spirits coming to Mother Earth, entering from the East direction. And when we're finished our time here on Mother Earth, we pass away, our bodies return to our Mother Earth who nourished us from the time our moms carried us to the time when our souls leave our body and we return to that place of peace and we exit Mother Earth through that western doorway. So this is an important doorway, as Walter said, and it is a time of taking care of ourselves, our families, our communities, and our nations, and using our medicines, using our offerings to do our best work and to gather people together so that we can defeat that feeling of fear and anxiety and loneliness that can come during a time of isolation. So I'll turn it to Lisa now to add some thoughts for this West direction.
Miigwech, Diane. Miigwech, Diane. So be gentle to yourself and to those around you. It's the importance of really being patient. You know, we have a lot of time restraints, the stress, probably working and looking after children and their school, and really understanding that that compassion, that empathy for those around you, and telling people how much they mean to you. So promoting that kindness. So emotionally, you know, when you're saying kind things to others, you feel good. It's a reward. It's good medicine. That's why we put it in the West direction, because, you know, even just sharing a compliment of what you see in some of the community workers that you're working in, or your children, or your partner, or your friend, really complimenting their strengths and their gifts of what you see. It makes them feel good. It makes you feel good. So that was one thing that we thought was so important when we were putting all of these beautiful suggestions of how to prepare, how to help yourself through this pandemic. And that was promoting kindness and promoting compliments. And miigwech.
Miigwech, Lisa. So a reminder that we're all in this together. And as Lisa said, we put some of these thoughts together in this infographic just to remind you that as much as we're sharing these cultural concepts for resiliency from our tradition today, that we are all in this together, and that you also from your traditions and your faith traditions have so much to add. And so when you look at this infographic, think about your own backgrounds and think about the strengths that you bring to this whole process of being strong through a time of crisis. We're going to move now to our final direction, which is the physical. And this is the north direction. And so I want to speak to this direction, and I think I'll start it off as honoring the Anishinaabe word of Giwednong, the cedar, the white bear being the grandfather, the grandmother taking care of this particular direction, and cedar being the medicine that is most prevalent in this direction and the one that we really rely on, because cedar often will be the base for many, many medicines that we make into teas, and cedar helps to pull sickness from the body. This is a teaching that you are spiritually protected in your homelands. And I want to honor Albert Lightning, Buffalo Child, because he was the one from the early 70s that talked about us as Ongwehongwe people, Anishinaabe people in these homelands being spiritually protected by the Creator. That we continue to remember that we are the guardians of this land, that we have duties and responsibilities to care for the land and for all of the Creator's creation in that whole lands. That we are to be mindful of the natural laws, to never take more than what we need, and whenever we take from our homelands, to always do a ceremony of thanksgiving, to say to the Creator, to Mother Earth, to the waters, the winds, the thunder beings, the sun, all those elements of creation, that we are totally grateful for everything that comes to support our life. So those are some of the sacred directions we were given from that early time of creation, to take care of the earth, to take care of each other. And as we continue to live in that way, that we will always be spiritually protected in our homelands. So I'll turn it to Walter now for some comments on the importance of cedar.
Thank you, Diane, for your words of wisdom. This is another beautiful direction. Giwed and Wabshkamukwa, the white bear. We call cedar Gijganda. And cedar has such a beautiful aroma when it's burning. Um, it just brings you back to the bush, brings you back to the land. It lifts your spirit, and it really does something to you when you burn that medicine and you smell it. It reminds you of home, it reminds you of our homelands. Um, this medicine I've used so much uh, to be able to help me. I've used it to take cedar baths. That's been very cleansing for me. I've also used it to hang in my home above my doors and my windows. And they say that when you do that, you hang cedar in your home. What you're doing is you're protecting your home. So only good things will come through through your doors, through your windows. Um, Good spirits, and it's nice to feel that in your home, to feel like you're in a safe place and it's protected. And I always encourage people to hang a little bit of cedar to help them feel protected, and to know that those spirits from that traditional sacred tree are looking after you. The other thing about cedar, this says here, Minnequin Gishganda Wabo, drink cedar tea. It's a beautiful medicine to drink. You do got to be very careful um, in your preparations for that, because the cedar has to be very dry before you boil that and drink that medicine. Or it can do the opposite and make your stomach feel quite sore and ill. So you want to make sure you drink only very small amounts of that medicine too, because it's very powerful, very, very powerful medicine. And so when we use it in our sweat lodges, we make big pots of cedar medicine. Some elders will pour that on those sweat lodge rocks, because it draws out that sickness out of your skin, and It's so powerful. Very cleansing medicine. You'll see sometimes at sacred fires, you'll see a bowl of tobacco and a bowl of cedar. And one of the reasons we have that cedar there is sometimes you'll have a lot of people coming to that sacred fire and praying. And what you do is you'll pray with your tobacco and you'll put your prayers into your tobacco and your intentions, and you'll put that in the fire. And then what you'll do is you'll take a little bit of cedar and you'll put that in after. And what that does is it cancels out, brings it back to zero, the sacred fire, for the next person's prayers to be able to, give to the Great Spirit. So that's why we put a little bit of that cedar in to just make sure that we're protecting and taking care of our own prayers and letting it be cleansed for the next person's prayers. So it's a beautiful medicine. It's a beautiful direction. Wabshka the white bear, is so powerful. The beautiful teachings that white bear brings every day to heal is something that you can always call upon, especially through our songs. We have lots of beautiful bear songs that we can sing to be able to invite that bear into our ceremonies, into our home, to help us with healing. And it's a very kind and gentle bear, and very, very loving. So when we need that physical help, we call on that bear to help us. And I'm very grateful to this direction. So thank you for letting me share. Miigwech.
Miigwech. Lisa, could you look at this direction and talk to us a little bit about how we can build our immune systems and be strong physically?
Miigwech. Miigwech, Diane. So for our immune system, we can start, eating traditional food, really connecting back to our land. And there's a lot of communities that I talked to during this pandemic that are going out in their trap lines, in their camps, and they're reconnecting with the land-based learning of hunting, trapping, fishing, and picking medicines, and spending that time together. So it's so beautiful. And so eating traditional food, whatever traditional foods what it looks like to you. So if you're in the city, there is places you can go to get the traditional medicine, traditional, wild rice you can find. And that physical activity is so critical when we're trying to really look at ourselves holistically, mind, body, spirit, and emotion. We all have to try to have that balance in each quadrant. And that's why we've come up with this beautiful poster. It's really making sure that we're feeding our spirit in all of these different realms: physical, mind, body, spirit. And the physical part, the important part would be dancing, doing things that make you feel good inside: gardening, cooking, journaling, dancing, drumming. It's expressing yourself, and connecting again with your family and your friends through Zoom or through FaceTime, to have those creative, moments and connection, even though that we're all in our own homes and doing the self quarantine, and really getting a good night's sleep. It's so critical, to really protecting your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotion. If you don't have a good night's sleep, then it is hard. So sometimes not having that physical activity may increase your chances of not having a good night's sleep. So really promoting that physical exercise, eating a balanced diet, and getting out and being active on the land or outside in your yard. You can make your yard your own space by putting those beautiful plants, medicine, gardening.
Miigwech, Lisa. We've had a real opportunity today to share some of the most powerful concepts from our respective cultures of Anishinaabe Nation and Haudenosaunee Confederacy to strengthen you, to encourage you, and to gather you together, all of you who are listeners today, to be able to incorporate some of these teachings, all those teachings that speak to your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit. We share these with you today with much love and much respect. And we thank you for being with us today. So on behalf of Walter and Lisa and myself, we say miigwech to you. Yawa.
Miigwech.